All right, welcome back to another episode. Another bi-weekly podcast with Stickman and his finances and goals and life events, tragedies, strategies, and all these other adjectives in there. So, last episode. On the last episode, we actually spoke about the rooms where you have to keep your doors open and opportunities open and bridges. You have to keep them there, okay? So that's what we spoke about mainly. Before that, we spoke about my lifestyle outlook as far as my expenses and earnings. My goal to get there on like how I want to live my life eventually. My debt history to date. Explained a little bit about Dave Ramsey baby steps, why save for emergencies, create a scale plan, and a little bit more. On the very first one I was on my way to get my windows tinted. Cutting on spending. We talked about cutting on spending, food and subscriptions, stuff like you can manage, you can still control. Getting out of the debt hole before any rainy day fund, and then rainy day fund before investing. All that stuff is nice and juicy stuff, right? That is the previous episodes on this journey here of 2022. Okay, now, this week, we're going to talk about very exciting and very sad things that happened in the last 2 weeks that were expected, weren't expected, and, just here we are. I mean, what happened that was expected? What did I expect for it to happen? I was expecting for the podcast with Torian to be released, the website to be released and launched and announced, and for my teeth to be cleaned, and to work more DoorDash. And my goal is to always do $100 every week at least doing DoorDash. So I can make at least $400 a month extra. Because I plan on getting out of debt by the end of 2021. That is the main goal. So, I did launch the website. Very exciting. I launched the website. I got a good amount of feedback on it. I'm very excited of the way it's just placed. Shout out to my boy Z Tidwell and Z Media. Man, they did great with the designing and editing and everything. So, I also got my teeth cleaned. And I want to let y'all know, y'all should go buy them Bite toothpaste bits. So it's like little bits, little pills that break down. You chew them and you just wet your toothbrush and you start brushing your teeth and it foams up, and it's way better. To me, it's way better than toothpaste. And then they have like the little travel set to where like you put the little pills in there, the little chewable things. You put them and you just go. And all you need is literally water. Their focus is to be eco-friendly, and they're doing quite well with it. So I think y'all should look into it. They got stuff for kids and stuff too. So looks like my teeth been good. So that's that. And what else? The podcast was released on time with the Torian, and it was about an hour and 30 minutes long. We had very exciting things to talk about. things to announce, things to show, and songs to mention. So check that out. I think you guys would love it. One of the best ones by far. I really appreciate you, bro. Not to say that all the other ones suck. No, like, man, all my episodes have been a blessing to me. And I appreciate the support, the love. And I'm just giving love, hoping that I can receive the love. All right. And then I was saying, hopefully the pandemic is over with. And give you a DoorDash update. Next 2 weeks outlook. So, before we get into that, we're going to talk about the unexpected. It snowed, you guys. It snowed like crazy. It snowed like it never had snowed ever before, and then out of nowhere, it's like, all right, this is all the snow that never snowed before. We're just going to give it to you out of nowhere because, yeah, we just kind of missed you, and we're here. So, plowed. I mean, we weren't ready for it. Arkansas, weren't ready for it. Out of work for like a week. Not on purpose fully, but could have been there maybe another day or two. Wasn't going to risk it too much, Didn't really have transportation because, let me tell y'all what happened. The car I have, I don't know if I done it or if it was already in that form, but the rear passenger side of the rim, the rear passenger rim or wheel was bent. So, one of the mornings before it snows, I have to go get the tire replaced because I noticed that there was a gash on my tire, and then another that my tire pressure was too low and that it wouldn't go up above 19 psi. Luckily, I wasn't even a mile or two away from the tire shop. Took it to the tire shop changed the tire, and they're like, hey, before we change the tire, we need to let you know that your rim is bent, sir. So, yeah, that's what we're working with. I'm like, what? Okay, I didn't know that. All right, let me do this. Okay, let's go ahead and get this tire done and wish for the best. Because they put sealant, and that was all. Thought that was going to do, right? They didn't put enough, or the rim was too bent, one of the two. Either way, my silly butt decides to drive it in the snow when it snows, and it was snowing enough to slide and mess with my tire that it sliced it twice. So I had to replace the tire again. But this time, I played it a little smarter. I was able to get a ride to go get the tire replaced with a used tire, the rim unbent, and sealant put on it. Hasn't messed up yet, but y'all, that was like a total of $200 at least of a cause that caused me right there, an emergency. If I wouldn't have had emergency funds, I would have been like probably crying almost. I don't know, especially during the pandemic, and then you have snow. Come on, how sadder can it get? So, I mean, luckily, I prepared for the little emergencies, right? It was an inconvenience. It wasn't too much of a stress. It was like, I wasn't like, where am I going to get the money from? I wasn't stressing about that. I was like, dang, now that means I have to work extra harder to make back up for my emergency funds, which I'm there already. Luckily for DoorDash, I'm able to make at least $100 a week extra, and I've been meeting that goal, and I'm proud of myself. We should give a big round of applause to myself. Even during that week, I wasn't able to work for DoorDash either because I didn't have my car either. I actually made that back up this last week, so we're good. And yeah. Also, oh yeah, before I tell y'all if I've before I tell y'all if I've done DoorDash or not, another thing happened. The service belt on my vehicle broke. Busted. Boom. And the car ran hot. And I had to get that replaced, which was at least $50. Luckily, I didn't have to pay the tow truck or anything. It wasn't too crazy. But, so, pretty much the last 2 weeks, I spent $250 that I did not expect to spend. If I wouldn't have been doing DoorDash, I mean, who knows how bad I would have been stressing. Now, I've booked a couple more people for the episodes of Time With. That is going really well. I'm very excited. I think Time With is a thing that's gonna stick around for quite a while, or maybe it's just gonna stay forever. I like to connect with people and talk about music and things they love and their passion and how they want to reach success. I love that, man. Keep it pushing, y'all. Keep feeding me good energy. Next 2 weeks. What's the next 2 weeks outlook? What does the next 2 weeks look like? Let me check my calendar. I'm starting to use my calendar more. My next 2 weeks, I get paid this week. I'll be able to save nothing really because of the $250 that I had to spend. I have to put that back in there. Doing DoorDash, hopefully I'll be back up around another $200 next 2 weeks. So that's what we're looking at. Hopefully paying another extra $200 at the car note. That's the goal. That's the goal. That's gonna be the goal. Paying $200 extra towards the car note. By the next time I record an episode, I have to say that I paid $200 towards my car note. Let me check finances. Let me check debts. How am I looking at my debt so far? $4,000. So far I have $4,200 to go. And if I were to pay an extra $200 in the next 2 weeks, that'd be $4,000. With an extra with the regular payment, that would bring it down to $3,800. How long can we pay $3,800? Can we do it in before 10 months? So for sure, we definitely should be able to. That means we would be paying $380 a month. That is no excuse. There's no excuse. That's $200 extra a month. No excuse, guys. Let's do it. Let's do it. I can save another $400 a month. And I was already trying to pay $200 extra. So if I can save another $400, that means I should at least be able to pay $500 extra a month. So I gotta amp it up, y'all. I gotta amp it up a little bit. Just got through the divorce too, though. So I mean, that's kind of tough. Getting the feet back on the ground and traction going, gears going, and all that. I mean, we're hanging on. We're getting there. We're steady. We're steady. There's a couple of things that have motivated me lately, and before we end the episode, I want to give y'all a little food for thought. So sometimes, let me see how to put it, because I was in the shower and I thought about it, and I was like, wow, that's a great way to see things, like when you learn things in life. I don't exactly remember what the theme was or what the message was, but I do remember that the way I would like to start sharing it would be like in the posts. You know, every day we have a lesson. Every day, believe it or not, we have more than one purpose in life. We have multiple purposes, and we have a purpose for every person that we love. it's weird because our purpose to that person is differently than to the other person. So that tells you already that's a different purpose. Love yourself, man. Love yourself. You learn how to love others and learn how to love the world. Let's get it. And besides that, I want to share those things, like those little things that I learn every day. I want to put them in those examples that I was so blessed with. Just giving those examples, those similes, metaphors, and putting it in a way that allows us to just learn easy. But with all that being said, that's my purpose. Start including that more in my posts, my daily posts, and the blog. Have a blog. Have members to the website, and what the members benefit are that they have exclusive, I would say, deals, and eventually I want to have a membership. Like, they pay a membership, but there's a lot of things that they benefit from. How do I want to say it? I want to curate it to where you can bundle up subscriptions or such and such or whatever, products of your lifestyle. You can bundle all those things up for a way cheaper price versus you doing it on your own, just having your subscriptions one by one, like, I don't know, it's crazy. There's things that I want to offer, or I want to offer services that will help people grow really more than anything. But the members of the service, I also want to be able to coach them in the long run, like be some kind of financial or life coach to them, to where I'm there tapping in and letting them know that they got this, that they're able to achieve the goal that they put their head in, So I can't do it alone, but I definitely would like to have a team one day that allows me to do more things like that. As of now, I can manage what I have on my table, like what I have in my head to offer. Like, I think I'm pleased enough to say that all my ideas are being fulfilled. And even if I feel like they're not, I'm still okay with understanding that the ideas are maybe gonna come back, or they're maybe never gonna come back. But I'm a creative, so there's always ideas. Ideas are never they're never a question. Like content, it's just never been something I've struggled to look for or find or just make. Oh, this is the idea. Boom, boom, boom. It was about YouTube, and I'm on YouTube now, so I'm gonna let y'all know how I want to do it. Boom. Every episode. So on Spotify, the way it's set up, every episode that I include music with, it has parts. So it's part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, boom, blah, 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 blah. And because there's music in between those parts have to be parts. I can do the same thing on YouTube to create it for YouTube, but I would have to create a playlist for every episode, which is fine. But it is a game changer. Nobody doing it. So that's my goal for the next 2 weeks. Edit the remaining episodes. Schedule them, and create YouTube playlists for podcasts. Example. break down by parts like Spotify. And I'll be able to include songs that are actually mixtapes too. So, what radio are you screwing with? Well, YouTube's a game changer, y'all. Y'all just don't understand. YouTube allows for two things to happen. To view content, listen to content, either or. And it's all in one place where there's content that is copywritten, or that's private owned or whatever, and then there's Creative Commons. So it's like the website, like the internet, but on YouTube, one place. And then they have YouTube TV, y'all. You'll be able to watch TV through YouTube. They have YouTube Music. You can play any song through YouTube. Like, YouTube has been and will be for a while longer. But I feel like YouTube is a great place to continue to do podcasts. I appreciate everyone for showing their love, honestly. Like, I don't know how long you've been supporting yourself, but I have people who've been supporting me from day one, like even before Time With, like before I was doing podcasts, before I started trying to do merch. Like, there's people that remember days that had nothing to do with all that, and I appreciate that support, honestly. Like, I remember my very first song ever released on YouTube was about a girl, and it was so crazy, y'all. It was like on some Baby Drake. I don't know, even the comments were funny. Like, I think it was a teenager commenting on my 12-year-old. Like, it was crazy. It was crazy. I wasn't 12. I was like 13, 14. I can't remember. I was young. It was a long time ago. It was Dang. I got a nephew, he's like 12, and that's crazy. Like, I was that age when I was thinking like that. I wonder how he thinks now. That's crazy. Y'all know how now I'm thinking about how my son thinks, how he'll think when he's 5. Because I remember my first memory was when I was 5. Oh man, my mind is running all over the place right now. Well, let's get it. I'm motivated, y'all. I think these next 2 weeks I should maybe relax on the DoorDash and do a little bit more of this, like editing and scheduling the remaining episodes, that way I could just catch up and then go intense back with the DoorDash. What do y'all say? I mean, I'm able to do a little bit of both. Even, I don't know, even with having Aiden like 2 days and then not having him for 2 days and then having him for 2 days. So on the 2 days I don't have him, I'm able to be productive enough to where, like, I can clean up around the house because it's just me and him. I can do DoorDash, or I can do the podcast. And, the podcast, since it's just one episode a month, it doesn't take too much. And because I'm already in the mood and in the groove and in the rhythm of creating content, it's just a natural thing to where it doesn't get old, it doesn't get boring, and it's pretty exciting. It gets challenging, interesting, and it gets fun. I like it. That's why. I mean, I think that's why I do it. I've been recording and editing for years. My mom is it just hit me that in that example. My mom's very crafty with the physical crafts, right? And I'm very crafty in putting things together on the digital way. If y'all look at all my work, my drawings, or my creations when I was young versus my creations when I'm using, my creations before I'm using technology versus the creations I'm using when I'm using technology, they're very different, but the way I create them are very similar. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that, but it's interesting just understanding what a creative can do when they're being creative. I'm optimistic at heart. I'm an entrepreneur at heart. And when I do things, I love to do it with heart. This is what I remember now. This is the thing. You know, when you give from your heart, you're rewarded a whole lot more. This is crazy. I remember now. You're rewarded a whole lot more in the long run. And let me tell y'all why, and let me give y'all a good little way y'all can look at it to brighten up your day and give a smile to your heart. So, for example, if you've noticed, or maybe it's coincidence or whatnot, but when you give from your heart, maybe a week later or not even, you notice someone gives to you or to y'all. And by y'all, I mean a group of you and your friends or family or your loved ones. And you don't understand that feeling unless you've been there. So, how are you rewarded more by giving some away and then getting some in return? Doesn't that break even? Well, here's where just there's no comparison at all. If I were to give you $5 as a friend that you know me, I see you every day. Hey man, thank you so much. You're looking out. I appreciate it. To where as someone, a stranger that you've never seen before, you've never met, buys some kind of item for you, it can be little or great, doesn't matter the price, but it makes you feel amazing. And that is the reward. That is the reward. That feeling is the reward. And God is putting that feeling in, that He is rewarding you with that. And you should appreciate it because you are to experience it and not really share that moment. It's like embrace it, love it, and then have that connection with Him and you, and that's it. And keep spreading good energy. Humble yourself, because it just makes it a lot more pleasing. A person that may or may not like you. Let's say, not even like that. But let's say it's a group of 5, and you often go out and hang out and whatnot. So you guys are comfortable already with what goes on, right? You guys understand that you guys got each other's back. But let's say you're a person who gives, and you're like, hey, I really wanted to give to this person that were in need, and blah, blah, boom, boom, boom. And then you and the group of those 5 people that often hang out are hanging out, and somebody buys y'all's I don't know, wristbands for the fair. You're like, whoa, like that just made your day, your guys' day. It put a smile on all your guys' face. And if it was because of your kind act a couple days ago, or maybe not, but you understand that there's people who have the same heart like you, and because there's people like you, You're able to put those kind of smiles on people's faces. And the reward is when you see those people's faces, whether they're your loved ones or people you don't know or whatnot. But the reward is when you appreciate that genuine happiness. Love yourself, y'all. I love y'all. I love myself. I love the world. We got to lead with positive energy because right now things are a little bit on the negative side with all this pandemic and political stuff going on. Let's get out of that. I'm out of energy and I'm ready to get re-amped up. I'm ready to live a normal life again. Peace. Catch you on the next one.